Hey, welcome to the Scuttlebutt. I'm Rich, Trapping Inc. TV, and I have with my guest tonight from New Mexico. A fellow goes by Trapper Adrian. You see him on Facebook. Incredibly talented, artistic man. His actual name is Adrian Romero, and we're going to talk trapping, and we're going to talk all about the incredible artwork that he does. Adrian, welcome to the Scuttlebutt.
Thank you. It's great to be here. When you notified me about it, man, I got pretty excited about it. It was cool.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's better than the other result, like, oh, him, go away. So tell everybody whereabouts you're at.
I'm in New Mexico, and it's West Central. There's Albuquerque pretty much in the center, a little up, and we're straight west of Albuquerque, 70 miles, and we're about 80 miles from Arizona.
Okay. And so what elevation are you at? Like, what's the country look like?
We're 6,700, and it's like a high mountain desert. There's pine, cactus, it's kind of a little bit of everything, of clay, sand, the dirt, and we're kind of in the mix of lava beds. There's
that's cool.
We're in between two mountain ranges. One's called Mount Taylor, the other one's called the Zuni Mountains. And Mount Taylor is actually 11,300, and it would be, I believe, the highest point in North America if it didn't explode back in the days of a volcano. Yeah. So it's pretty cool out here.
Yeah, that is. So you're quite high then. You must get some winter there then, right?
Yes, we're right next to the Continental Divide, so it gets pretty cold. We're about the top three lows in the winter of New Mexico and southern Colorado.
Okay. So what do you trap for? And tell us your history, how you got started trapping.
I trap mostly coyotes and then bobcats, and there's a gray fox. The majority is gray fox, which I don't really want to trap anymore so much because they're always messing up your cat sets and coyote sets. But yeah, those are the three main. There's a little bit of coon, but not much. Some ringtail cat.
Those are cool.
Yes.
What are they actually? They're like related to the raccoon or something, aren't they?
I think they're a species kind of on their own. I'm not exact sure, but they're kind of like a mix between a coon, squirrel, cat. They're pretty athletic type animals. They're like they're kind of the behavior is kind of like a weasel also.
Oh, really?
So they're pretty cool. Yeah, and they are mostly in the rocks, and they like the rocks, cliffs, the sandstone around here and stuff.
Oh, that's neat. So how would you target something like that, or is it just an accidental?
You could use the cage traps, and it just they're mostly, like I said, accidental. Cats are lucky, you get lucky. There's some guys that are real good at it and target them, and they're successful in it. But I just usually catch them accidental, and which is great.
Okay, they're really neat. I always wanted to see one. I've just seen pictures of them, and
yes, very nocturnal. Also, I've never seen them out, in the daytime or anything. They're
that's like the aardvark in South Africa. They're nocturnal as well. But we're there hunting. We're hunting the Kalahari Desert, and I'm riding out in the back, and we're actually hunting for steinbok. They're a little antelope this big.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I see something over there, so I tap on the roof, and the PH stops the vehicle, and I said, I'm not sure. I said, there's a big ear over there. So we go over there, and here it's an aardvark. and that I would see this big pink ear, right? And wind was blowing really, really hard. And we got really close to it before he scared it and took off. Well, when he took off, they are the funniest thing to see run because they're kind of like a big round, like if a pig was round and then with this big long snout out front, right?
Yeah, stretched out.
Yeah, and they've got these great big huge claws, just like spades on the front on their feet for digging and that. And he takes off running it. So the PH says to me, he says, they're nocturnal. I says, oh, okay. I said, I don't know. I've never seen one before. He says, in my whole life, he says, this is the first one I've seen in the daytime. Before the day was out, we saw 3 more.
Really?
Yeah. He said, I just couldn't believe it. So then that was in 2015, 2019. We're back there. And we're hunting in the Kalahari again. I'm hunting for Hemsbach at that point. And I says to Clint, I says, hey, Clint, look. I said, there's an aardvark. And he walks over and he looks at it. He says, are you kidding me? I said, so how many aardvarks have you seen since we're here? He said, the last one I saw, he said, I was standing next to you. Yeah. So it just, you just never know, right? You just never know.
Man. That's funny.
Wow, you take with how many hours and thousands of miles I make in a year in the wintertime. I'm lucky to see a single martin in a winter. I catch a whole pile of them, but they're very, very nocturnal. You just don't see them, right? So you target the big predators and the coyotes and the cats, and
yes, sir.
Your cats would be worth good money there, right?
Yes. They go from a good, you take care of them, handle them good. They're probably $300 to $700. That was the last cat I got, was a medium-sized female, and it went for $300. So they're pretty good.
That's nice. We're too far north for bobcat. In Alberta, bobcats, they probably average 250, something like that. We don't have that gray with the really, really white belly. Ours tend to be more orange with a nice white belly, but the orange isn't as desirable as that gray that you guys get over there and in Wyoming and that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, real wide valleys. That's the money. Is the wide white valleys.
Yeah, and the spotting. Yeah, I don't know what it is about women and spotted fur, huh? It's just amazing. But that's literally the last spotted cat on the face of the earth that you can use for fur, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that in our lynx, but our lynx don't have. Our lynx have much longer hair, and so if the fur is combed down, then you see the spots really well. If it's combed up, they disappear, right? Because of that long hair, and the lynx don't have as white a belly as what a bobcat has by any means. How do you trap the bobcats?
Mostly, I love a rub set, but the walkthroughs, I hardly ever, when I target them, I hardly use a dirt hole. It seems like they just walk to it and walk away. Sometimes I'll put a trap about 3 feet back, and that sometimes gets them. But usually, I rather that cat our terrain is so big that you only get one shot at them usually, and then you have to wait another 7 to 14, 15 days. So I want to, put the best sets for the best chances of getting them. So usually the walkthrough or a rub set is what I really focus on putting out there.
Okay, so explain each one of these to us. Explain a rub set, what you're using for lure, how it's set up, that kind of stuff. This is interesting.
Okay, the rub set, which is, like I say, my favorite. They're usually you'll pick like a side of a rock or a stump, a knockdown tree at the end of it, or like I say, a little cliff, in a wash or something. So you'll put about 9 inches. You don't want to go too low because then you'll want to lay in it, and then you don't want to go too high because then you can't reach it. So about 9 inches or so, 9 to say a foot, you put your lure, your rub lure, and then you'll put either one or two traps underneath it there. And usually I'll go 4 to 6 inches. My hands, I usually use a lot of measurements, So
Yeah.
I'll go, I'll go from the where I put the rub, I'll go down, and then from there, my hand right here is 4 inches. So I'll either put the trap here or a little out.
Okay.
And if I use two, I'll put the levers, the inside levers right under there. So each side of the rub stick. So
And
when he comes, he'll want, he'll rub back and forth, and usually, you'll get him that way.
well, that's really cool.
Mhm.
I'd never heard of that. For, of course, we have a very, very different terrain.
Mhm.
I know that the lure that I use for lynx, they want to rub themselves on it. But what is your lure? What is your lure that induces the rubbing?
I usually, I don't know if you heard of Wayne Derrick. He's here from southern New Mexico. He's been trapping way over since I've been alive, and he has a rub lure that he has at Pecos Valley. And man, I don't know if I've ever missed a cat. I might have missed a cat, but he never hesitated to hit that set.
No
To
kidding.
rub against it. Yes,
Well, that's
that lure
fascinating.
is awesome. Yeah, he's his whole life is trapping. He's a lure maker.
Yeah.
He was a government trapper. He traps year round for ranchers, so he knows his stuff. So that's the rub lure I like to use.
Well, that's cool. And I love to learn about those things. I mean, I know that people have their secrets, and they don't want to give up their secret. And I understand that. I just want to understand, right? Like,
Yes.
what is the one, asphopedia or something like that they put in the canine, especially for coyotes? I think it's called asphopedia.
Something. Yeah, I heard of that. Mhm.
And I don't know what it does or what it triggers in them. I'd like to be able to talk to somebody just to understand it. That would be really cool. But the stupidest thing for wolves, cheese oil.
Mhm. Really?
Cheese oil. Brings them in on a string. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of good lure makers that make wolf gland lure, right? So they use the actual glands. The one guy actually got in trouble because U.S. Fish and Wildlife was buying this from them because it works so good, right? Both in Alaska and Montana and Idaho, and that they're buying this wolf gland lure from. And then all of a sudden it came, CITES and that got all excited at the border and says, well, does that have animal parts in it? He says, well, it's wolf gland lure. What do you think? And then it was like they wanted to arrest him and everything. And he says, well, you can arrest my friends at U.S. Fish and Wildlife too, and because they're the ones that have been importing it. So it got a lot. It kind of went around and around, got a little excited for a bit, and then everybody just backed off. And it's like, well, it's not like we're we're not. It's not like we're exporting ivory tusks off of elephants or something. It's lands off a wolf. How silly things can get, right? Like we just wander out there and gone, and it's like, so on the walkthrough, talk to me about a walkthrough. How you do your walkthrough?
Usually I'll put a bunch of trees cut up, or if I find rocks, just try to narrow down their path where they can't go around it. And I'll usually put the trap, of course, in the center. And a bobcat, his stride is usually 9 to 10 inches from step to step. So I'll put the trap in the middle and put sticks or little rocks where it narrows down, the pad where he has to step. And then on each side of the trap, I'll put sticks, mostly, little sticks where it's about 9 inches on both sides. So where he's stepping on here, he'll have to step where he's comfortable, where he's always, stepping at the 9-10 inch mark, and then.
Okay. So this is a blind set then. Hey folks, Rich from Trapping Inc. TV here, and it's no secret that I'm a big fan of coffee. Our friends at Old Smokes smoke roast their coffee beans over wood fires. You have no idea how good coffee can taste until it's smoked coffee. Did you know that studies have shown that just the smell of fresh coffee can boost brain activity? Yeah, it's that good. Sandy and I have teamed up with Old Smokes Coffee to make our own Trapping Inc. coffee blend. Let me introduce you to Wolverine, an ultra dark roast coffee bean smoked over maple wood fires. This is the pure, uncut trapper's fuel that keeps us laughing and trapping all day long. If you'd like to try our special blend, you can find it at www.trappinginc.com/shop. If dark roast isn't your thing, Old Smokes has 5 different coffee roasts from light to extra dark, each roasted over a different wood for a unique flavor. Right now, you can order from their online store and use our promo code RICH, that's RICH, and get 10% off your entire order. Just go to www.oldsmokescoffee.com. That's OLE smokescoffee.com and use the promo code RICH. That is promo code RICH for 10% off your entire order. And now let's get back to today's show.
Yes.
Do you don't use a lure or anything to draw them in?
There's times, but I guess not to be smart on, but if I feel like it, I'll put some, or
Okay.
if I want to, if it's a big tom coming through, I'll put some gland on the bottom and stuff, just to slow him down a bit. But nothing really, I don't put any bait or lure, but just the gland. Bobcat gland.
Okay. Well, that's I've never targeted a cat on a blind set. Like, I mean, we do pens, and they might circle the pen and that, and then you'll have wherever he's going to walk, you'll have snares. We snare everything, and it's just so simple. So but he's being attracted to that pen by a bait that's there, right? A lure.
Yes.
It's it's interesting though that I'm still fascinated with this rub set. So this must be alongside of a trail. There must be something that's bringing to this spot.
Yes, like a cat toilet.
They have toilets?
Yes. That's when you see one of those, your heart starts pounding. It gets exciting. It's like a litter box.
No kidding.
Yes, and you'll see little, their droppings stick out of the sand or dirt, and then they'll bury it a little bit. Sometimes they'll just just throw it all down. But usually, like especially females, I've seen them cover it a lot, or they try to cover it, but it's not. You'll see it. But yeah, you get excited because you're gonna get action there, because that's their.
But that happens so seldom here that you find droppings from a lynx. Like, I mean, just so seldom. So you another one of those habits my wife is so proud that I have. But every time I see a turd, I pick it up and put it in a bag.
I actually have my pockets here, but even my vest, I'll put them right here. Oh man, I think that's the funniest thing of a trapper. Even the lady trappers, you collect them.
Well, and it's funny because she set up her own little trap line. We're up on a registered trap line, and our cabin is on a lake. So she had been, for years, she walks up and down the lake with snowshoes and all that. This last winter, she decided she'd set up a trap line. So she decided she'd set up a lynx pen, a cat pen. And it's mostly like low willows there, muskegee and that. But then there's, a patch of evergreen spruce trees, right? So that's a that's a you know, like a calling card. That's a serious piece of structure, so to speak, and it attracts
Mhm.
animals. And you've got those willows and that, so there's lots of rabbits and hare and that for the cats. So she goes in there to find a big spruce to set up under, and underneath this one spruce, there's some cat poop, right? So she called it her kitty poop pen, and she built a pen around it. She got 2 links out of it this year.
Really? Oh man, that's great.
So I just say, you gonna tease me about packing around turds?
Yeah.
No.
I forgive. Yeah, but yeah, it's funny how that it works out with trappers.
Yeah, yeah. Your coyotes must be good coyotes there, huh? They're maybe
Yes.
good Western coyotes. Yeah.
Yes, sir. They're not as big, of course, as the Eastern. They're full-blooded coyotes. We get a lot of pale ones, which that's the money there.
Yeah, 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 for sure. For sure, yeah. The
Yeah.
Eastern coyotes are
So-
much bigger, but they're a lot coarser too. And you know, like we have beautiful coyotes here. I'm just about too far north for the best. I am like, I mean, the best are probably 8-10 hours south of me. You know,
Okay.
down into like central Alberta, and then over to Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan has the best coyotes in the world.
Mhm.
I'll say that. I mean, they just have those light pale. You know, and you get a 28-pound female, and that is the perfect. You know, she'll be just so beautiful.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's fascinating. So, how much do you trap during the winter then? Like, I mean, it's how long's your season?
It starts. Coyotes are year round. There's no really date on that, and skunks. Of course, we have skunks, but that's But the season for fur bear season is November 1st through March 15th. The coyotes, their prime is November, December, and then they start getting a little rubbed in like the average year. They
Yeah,
get rubbed, in start in January and on.
yeah.
Cats usually, I find them start priming up around Thanksgiving weekend around there, and then all the way to February.
Okay, that's you have a pretty nice season though. It's pretty long.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
I mean,
Yeah, no, there's no quota or anything like that.
yeah. Well, New Mexico isn't overly populated with people, is it?
Not really. Not too bad.
You get
Yeah.
outside the cities, and it empties out in a hurry.
Yep.
So how many cats or coyotes would you get in a season?
I would say if I hit it hard, a good season, probably I usually go hit it hard for 2 weeks and take a week off, hit it hard again 2 weeks after that. Because we have a lot of terrain out to cover. So it gets pretty crazy if you go full, for
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
while. But probably I would say a good season, probably 30 to 40 coyotes and 7 to 10 cats.
Wow, that's really that's a good
Yeah.
year. I
Yeah.
don't care what anybody says. I mean, I know people talk big numbers and that, but I mean that's a good solid.
If I hit it real hard, I could, have probably, long line it. Of course it'll go up, but I'm not really numbers. I just go out and love it.
Yeah,
I just do it for the love of trapping, not really for the cost or how many I could get or what. I love the challenges of a educated coyote, more than trapping 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go after that one educated one, or and get him. That's more of success than getting 5 in one day or such.
I'm like you. I mean, I do long line, and I do whack a lot of animals in a year, but I live for those aha moments. You know what I mean? When you have that
Yes.
difficult one, or whether it's a beaver or whatever it is, and then when you finally light goes off in your head, you go aha, and you get them, and it works. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like, that's
exactly.
I live for those. I don't have enough of those in my own life, but I've talked with people like, every trapper has their animal, it seems, and I've talked with some great wolfers, and I've talked with guys that knew Wolverine inside and out, just people that those are their animals, and they have these, they seem to be able to communicate with that animal, and they can look at it and they can see what needs to be done, and as soon as they explain what needs to be done, it's like boom, I'm there, and I know exactly that they're right. I just have that trouble making that leap myself. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was talking with a guy last night from Minnesota, and he's like really into beaver, and we got talking on and on about beaver, and he brought up a couple of problems and all that, and I was saying how I'd solved it, and he says, well, maybe your animal's a beaver, and I says, well, thanks. Why couldn't it be something cool?
Yeah. Overeat or something.
Coyotes, you dirt hole them?
Yes, that's the majority. I like to do kind of like a step down set where, and big hole,
Big
a
hole.
lot
You're a
of
big hole
visual.
guy?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
How
sir.
big's a
I
big
like
hole? 2 inches?
probably what 6-inch diameter, so
Oh, wow.
3 to 6 inches. That's what I like to do. Our country is just like spread out, so it's a lot of visual, where they can
Yeah.
see. So I like to put something attracted to them. I've used like cow bones and leg bones and stuff, and they're just seem skittish of that. So a big dirt hole, it works best for me.
How deep would you make that hole, Adrian?
Uh, Probably 10 to 12 inches, not too deep.
Okay. And then
And
you
then I
put,
throw stuff in, grass and stuff, cover it up and stuff.
oh, okay. Like you don't put like wool in it or something like that?
Yeah, I'll put the wool, just a little bit of wool, throw it, and then cover it with grass.
Oh, okay. Okay. And you have a favorite lure for that too, or do you shake it up and move things around?
Yeah, I usually just I have like my own little group of lures and bait, and I'll just like my favorite bait is the Top Dog Predator bait, Charlie Mastic, who's a trapper. I don't know if you
Yes,
met him.
I've had Charlie on the show,
Yes,
and
yes.
Jason. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's my favorite bait, man. That keeps them there. That keeps them working. And I'll always put that, and I'll usually put 3 sets within, a location. And that's like one of my first time. I'll put that bait first, and then I'll do more. I'm not a person to keep record. I used to try. I would forget. So I get to the truck, and what did I use? Oh, so I just gave up on that. I just have my lure, my bait, and I have, I'll set it, and whatever I which one caught it and which lure and bait I used on that,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't,
So if you catch a coyote in a set, do you reset right there, or do you move it a little bit, or what's
yeah,
your
I'll
preference?
set right there.
Yeah.
If I can't find the dirt hole, or it just tore up, I'll usually get like a cow pie and get a stake with like a burlap wrapped around it, nail it in, and put the cow pie on top, or get a trash, a bunch of sticks and stuff, make a trash set.
Oh, that's interesting.
But also always set right, with there at that, or that area.
Oh,
If it's on a drag, I usually change the trap. I don't like to use, because the animal will take your trap away from the set, and that trap smells, like the animal. And I feel if you bury it at that site where there's hardly any smell of it, they're going to smell it underneath the dirt. That's my opinion.
Hey folks, Rich here with some exciting news from trappinginc.com. We were listening when you said you wanted more clothing, and we heard you loud and clear. We've expanded our clothing line, more colors, men's, ladies, and children's sizes, more variety. Living off grid gives more time for the creative juices to flow. New humorous observations are added weekly, as well as our classic Trapping Inc. logo. We have joined forces with TeePublic. You can find our TeePublic storefront from the store page on trappinginc.com. Just go to www.trappinginc.com/shop and just scroll down to find the link for our Trapping Inc. storefront. Or you can go to teepublic.com and enter Trapping Inc. TV in the search bar at the top. Check it out. Big sales every month, and you can save up to 35%. Don't miss out. Get your favorite gear today. And now let's get back to today's show. And I have this theory, I've watched a lot of the guys that when they talk about their dirt holes and that kind of stuff, and about how they're trying to hide their smell, and they don't like it if it's tore up too much and everything. And for me, it seems like the most active sets are active because they're active. You just roll one coyote or one lynx or wolf after another. It's like they're attracted to that attention. It could be just because I'm out in the wild and they're not as leery or whatever. But it seems like the more active that pen is, the more animals you catch.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Some guys, everybody has their own deal, and I think it's once you catch an animal there, you keep them coming.
Yeah, the one thing that one fella that I did a show with, and he was a dirt holer, and he would do like 150 coyotes in the month of November in Alberta, which was pretty good accomplishment. He's south of here, so I mean he deals with frost a lot later than I do, but all the same, he said the only thing he did, he would set the dirt hole right there again. He says, but he'd use a different lure down the dirt hole, because what he had there previously was spread everywhere, right? So he wanted to focus them again onto that dirt hole. So he'd use a different lure. And he was one of those guys who kept all the lists. I was like,
oh, yeah.
I said to him, I don't know if I could trap with you. You're way too organized.
Yeah, that's how Charlie is. He's very, I guess they have good memories, because they'll write everything down, and everything's it's, I guess it's a professional that. But yeah,
when you're picking a spot for coyote, is it just on a trail, that you find a spot you like there, or you must have ones that you use year after year? You have special ones. Do you know what makes them special? You know what I mean?
We use a lot of 2-track roads where it Y's off, where washes Y off, just everything, I guess, that come together. Trails, cow trails, pretty much that's what we look out for, and set right on there, where there's crossings.
Okay.
Like the 2-track roads come together, crossroads, creeks.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that, I guess, or like the corner of a cliff where they have to go around, and not, if they're going from one side to the other. The tree lines, pretty much, just I guess kind of, how would you say it? Kind of like everybody else, but we're more open land,
Yeah.
I really like those dominant trees. I don't know if we have like a big open field and there'll be a tree right in the middle, or a big rock right in the middle. Right, those are little honey holes.
Yeah,
places I like to set.
That's that major feature. Like, it was just like the patch of spruce alongside the lake where everything's willows. You have a patch of spruce, everything's going to go there, right? And
yes.
A couple squirrels live there, so they're all thinking that they maybe going to get squirrel for supper. But one of the situations that we get, and I do this, I will take in the foothold for coyote. Most often it's coyote that I get. Sometimes it's lynx, but when you have it snows and you get the road plowed, and you get these plow ridges, right? And that's always, all white and snow in that. But every now and then there's going to be a dirt lump or something in that plow ridge, and the sun will get on it, it'll thaw it out, and it'll roll down. And every coyote, every cat that comes down that trail is going to go pee on that. That's just as good as your big tree out in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I love looking at that, because I got a half-mile road on my place here out to the main road, and I'll get a couple every winter on I know that dirt lump's going to produce, because I walk my own dogs. They all walk over there and pee on it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just because the dirt thaws out, it attracts some warmth, and that makes it one of those features, right?
Mm-hmm.
You won an award in 2019.
Yes, sir. The Trapper of the Year West from the NTA.
Oh, that's awesome. So
yes, sir. I didn't expect it. It was pretty surprising, and just, it was awesome.
So that's I take it that's from accomplishment as a trapper, but I imagine in today's world it's got a lot to do with working to help defend trapping, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, that year we were the legislation. We had a couple bills to stop trapping, and we I guess worked hard to stop it from happening.
Yeah, that New Mexico, there was a vote up to stop trapping, wasn't there?
Yes, this year we lost it. Hopefully we'll get it back. There's a lawsuit and stuff, so
you
we'll
really
see what happens.
You lost?
Yes,
the right
by
to trap?
one vote on public land, trapping on public land.
Really?
All trapping is, yes. This is our last season that we'll have.
How could they do that?
It's crazy, and by one vote, I think it was like 33 to 34 with the legislation voted.
I was unaware of that. I was so unaware of that. So, what's the reasoning for this?
They were just public safety was their argument. Their pets getting caught in traps. It was just lies after lies. If people that followed it, watching it on the Zoom meetings and stuff that they had, the sessions.
Yeah.
They just lied through the whole deal. They cut us off. A lot of even our president was talking, and he within 7 seconds they shut him off. When he was defending us and stuff on the public speaking.
Yeah, I don't know what your trap laws are there. Like, I mean, we here in Canada, we have our footholds have to be offset and laminated or rubber jawed so that there's no damage done to the animal. I release my dog several times every winter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The neighbor's lab, I could have put him on a board like 30 times in the last 4 years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with any of those dogs. So, I mean, it's
the ranchers, when I go to trap on private, I'll tell the ranchers, the ranch hands and stuff, that, okay, I'll show them right away how to release a dog, because your dog's going to get trapped.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it, but it's not going to hurt him. He's going to freak out a little bit because he's not used to it. It's new to him. And I'll show him right away. Even the owners of the ranch, I'll show them. It happens. Nothing happens to the dog. I'm welcomed back the next year. They use that against us, and it was a lot of politics involved and stuff. Behind the scenes, so to speak.
It's funny because I don't understand some of this stuff. Like, I mean, in some cases, trappers are their own worst enemies, no question. You know, I mean, we have so much social media and that, and one of the things that I'm constantly getting, you know, taken to task over is when people put up pictures of, you know, of an animal that's in a trap, and they have video of it, it's howling and yelling, and they're taking pictures of themselves with it and all that. I don't care what anybody does, but don't put it on Facebook. You know what I mean? Because then I gotta be the sheriff there and that kind of stuff, right? Like, I mean, we're not helping ourselves when we do that kind of stuff.
Exactly. It's neat to, you know, you're proud, you're excited, you want to show, but you just have to do it the right way, you know.
I know, and the same person that gets upset about the fact that you didn't instantly dispatch it is then against snares, you know, where it's dispatched right away.
Oh, they're so cruel.
No, it's over in a hurry.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, and that's what a lot of them will say, well, why don't you go out there, you know, and sit all night in a trap? And I go, well, give me a fur coat and I'll go lay in there. You know, if it's, you know, too cold for the animal, they're not going to be out. If the weather's too bad, they're not going to be out.
Yep.
So you're not going to trap them. You know, they're out in the weather that they love to be out and they're comfortable. So that's when you trap them. You're not going to trap them when, you know, it's flooded or whatever. They're going to be out hunting, and that's when you're going to trap them, when they're out in their own world.
Absolutely. And see, that's the thing though, is that we're in that situation where the Disney effect, right? And the whole thing that's going on there is they are assuming that because they would be uncomfortable, so the animal's uncomfortable. You know, we have moose here, and moose are made for the winter. Right now, moose are miserable. This is the worst time of the year for them, right? It's hot and there's flies and all that kind of stuff. You take a nice 30 below day out in the wintertime, and I'll traveling along in my trap line. One will stand up out of its bed. You know, they lay there, they lay on top of their feet. That's what they're made for. You know, that's their whole world. So these people with their, you know, their it's being so hard on them. How many animals do you walk up on that are asleep? You know, they're in a foothold and they're asleep. Like, I mean, it happens all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's just, I think, to me, once they start getting into it, being against, you know, fighting for animals, to them, it's not about the animal anymore. It's about winning the game. Because you cannot convince, it's a waste of your time to try to convince them that it's okay. You know, the animal's not as, you know, it's not as bad as you think, and no. They don't want to hear it. They're in this game, and they're in to win it, and they're going to do it. They're going to win. And, you know, if they have to lie, whatever they have to do, money, they're going to win the game.
And exactly it. And you mean they operate on emotion, and you'll never win an argument with emotion using facts. Never.
Yes.
You know, because people just don't want to hear it. They will just shut down, stick their fingers in their ears, you know, because they're not listening. You know, like, I don't care if you're talking facts and you know, the truth to me, and it's not what I want, you know. That's
they'll cut you off and just
they can be as rude as they want, but you know, we can't be rude, because then look at that awful trapper, right?
Yes, they'll use it against us.
Absolutely. And I try to tell that to people, you know, like, that we can't, you know, because so many people, I mean, their first reaction is to be angry. And, you know, when you're angry, you don't make the best decisions, and you don't always represent yourself the best either. It's not easy not to be angry. And I should know. I should know. My wife often laughs. She said, "You should be the most patient man on the earth, because you've never used any in your whole life." You know, so 40 some years with a good woman, though, it's tamed me some. So
It's
I'm getting better at it. Yeah. Yeah. Or as my buddies say, well, you're pretty well broke to halter now, you know. Hey folks, Rich from Trapping Inc. TV here, and it's no secret that I'm a big fan of coffee. Our friends at Old Smokes smoke roast their coffee beans over wood fires. You have no idea how good coffee can taste until it's smoked coffee. Did you know that studies have shown that just the smell of fresh coffee can boost brain activity? Yeah, it's that good. Sandy and I have teamed up with Old Smokes Coffee to make our own Trapping Inc. coffee blend. Let me introduce you to Wolverine, an ultra dark roast coffee bean smoked over maple wood fires. This is the pure, uncut trapper's fuel that keeps us laughing and trapping all day long. If you'd like to try our special blend, you can find it at www.trappinginc.com/shop. If dark roast isn't your thing, Old Smokes has 5 different coffee roasts from light to extra dark, each roasted over a different wood for a unique flavor. Right now, you can order from their online store and use our promo code RICH, that's RICH, and get 10% off your entire order. Just go to www.oldsmokescoffee.com. That's OLE smokescoffee.com and use the promo code RICH. That is promo code RICH for 10% off your entire order. And now let's get back to today's show. You, though, are known for something more than being a trapper. You're known for You're known for your art.
Yes.
Talk to me about your art.
Proud.
How did it start?
Well, I started since I was a kid. I loved to draw. Me and a friend I grew up with, we every night, like I would sleep over his house, sleep over my house, we'd draw, and we kept growing, doing that. And then through high school we veered away, parted, I guess, and I kind of lost it. Wasn't into drawing anymore. And when I had my boys, well, I have 3 boys and 1 daughter. My daughter's the youngest. And when they were little, I started drawing for them. And I would give the drawings to my mom. She would make copies and make kind of like put coloring books together for them. So they would do that. So then I just started getting better and better. And I started going, I was able to buy the right pencils and stuff. So it was probably, I don't know what year, but I was interested in oil painting, and my younger sister Roxanne, she ended up getting cancer, and she was always pushing me to do oil painting. And her and like my mom, they were like into my art like crazy. They were my biggest fans. It was awesome. And she kept pushing me, and I was too afraid of the media. And she ended up, the last Christmas she was with us, she bought me a oil painting kit. And so I got that, and I just put it to the side. So, I guess she passed 3 months after that. And about probably 6 to 8 months later, I came across it, and I said, I'm gonna do it for her. I felt, so I started, and man, they were some ugly paintings. So I just kept on, and I went to workshops. I just was so determined to do it. And so I just started going to workshops and started getting better and better. And finally I hit it and got it.
Your eye as an outdoorsman, though, really shows through in your work, because it's something you've seen, right? I mean, you're recording it just like a photograph, with the detail and the animal, the postures of the animals. And I like that. There are people who are technically really, really good artists in that, but they will do something and it doesn't have the life that your work has, because they've never seen it, right? They haven't experienced it. But you, your drawing was your first, like that was your first love, and now you I saw you you did a one of an old fellow with traps that it's going to be old fellow, he's got a
Which
vest
one?
on. What it was an old fellow with a hat and a vest and a trap, and
Oh,
it's
Gary Jepson.
yes, yes,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yes.
I love that one.
Thank you.
that
Yes. And that was a lot of people say that faces and hands are hard to do. I guess God gifted me with those seem more easier than animals to me, as a human face and hands and stuff. So
yeah.
I'm gonna,
Okay.
matter of fact, I'm gonna go. We talked about it at the nationals. I talked to him with it, and I'm gonna. I don't know if you've seen his DVDs or anything. He runs trap line off the horseback.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going this winter, hopefully this winter, and gonna follow him on horseback and do, just take pictures through the whole bit and just tag along. And I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
What I love, what he does is he'll take a pack horse and load all his coyotes on back of it. And
Oh
that's something, a scene. Yeah, it's cool.
yeah.
That's a scene I want to get, is him packing out coyotes on his pack horse,
So
So
that's what you do, is you work from photography?
yes, that's
Okay.
pretty
Okay.
much all. I do some, freehand off whatever, but that's most of them is just from photographs.
Okay, cool.
I'll
Cool.
put a lot of photographs together to make, the scene, a lot of different animals, whatever it takes to
But
put them.
the ability to capture an animal using, whether it's paint or a pencil or anything else, I mean, there are animals that are the toughest, and they've got to be the canines and the cats, right? And it's like taxidermy, like
Yes.
those are the animals that are toughest for a taxidermist to do. And people say, I don't know why it is. Well, I said, because you look at one every day, and they look at you, and I said, well, your house cat, your dog, those are felines and canines. What a natural look is on one of their faces, or a pose or whatever. And I says, you project that out on that taxidermy or on your art.
Oh,
So that's why
yes, on
it's
the canvas.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And that's why they are so difficult, is because everybody knows what it looks like. You can have, the nicest white-tailed deer or mule deer or elk or whatever, and somebody can do a mount of it. Nobody really knows, unless that happens to be your animal and you're good with it, you can tell whether it's a good job or not. For most people, they see the horns, and it's got 2 eyes, 2 ears, and that's all they know about it. It's very different than with, you see some really ugly taxidermy when it comes to,
Yes,
especially to bobcats.
yes. It's poor guys. Yeah, I think the number one thing, and that's one of the things I start off with, are the eyes.
Yes.
If you don't get the eyes right, no matter what you do, it won't look right. No
And
matter,
and it's especially with a painting. I mean, it's similar with taxidermy, but you can move around. With that painting, that animal has to make contact with your eyes, right? That's
yes,
what brings the life to it, is that when you walk up, that you're connecting with that animal. And
exactly. It has to have a story. That
yeah,
when you look at
yeah,
a painting, it has to have a story. That's the way I put my art out.
yeah.
Um,
So
you could put just. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh no, you could just put a face of an animal or a human, and it has to have an expression, or else it's just a boring picture.
Yep, yep. Yeah, I have a piece of taxidermy, and it's a lynx stretched out leaping, and it's grasping a grouse with the paw, right? and the grouse is trying to take off, and the taxidermist put an eye roll on the grouse's eyes. So the grouse is looking backwards at this lynx that's grabbing a hold of it. Well, it just explodes to life when you see the eye roll on the bird, and the cat is fixated on it. I mean, it's just boom. The whole story there, the life is there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
That makes that story you're talking about. What has been your hardest thing to capture? Have you had one that sticks out?
Of artwork or trapping? Or
artwork? Yeah.
Artwork. I would say clouds is one of my hardest things to get. On animals, I haven't really. What have been? I'm not sure. I've been doing good. Cats are probably my best. Matter of fact, even John Daniel, NPA president, he made that comment that cats. I have a thing for the cats to do the cats. But I don't know if I've ever had any animal yet that I couldn't accomplish what I wanted, I guess.
Okay.
I know there's going to be one sooner or later, but I haven't got to there yet.
You talk about clouds and
yes, clouds to get the distance. I don't know. My wife says, "Oh, that's good. But to me, I just can't get it. And I end up getting it, but it's the first thing I start on a painting when I'm doing clouds, and it ends up being the last to fit complete on it. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I can't get it. I watch YouTube videos, talk to friends of how they do it. And I just, that's.
Have you ever been in the Arctic?
No, not yet.
You get up.
I hope I one.
Get up in the barren grounds, and the clouds up there are the most unique clouds you'll ever see. And they're just like these long stringy bands, and they start out like a cartoon cloud, like little bump, and they're pretty much flat across the bottom. And it's got to do with the vortex of the winds and that up there. But to try and capture that, like, I mean, I have pictures that I can look at of it, and yet I can't even. There's a couple of times that I've wanted to, for a logo or something that I was doing on internet, and I wanted those particular clouds because it's just they're so haunting to me for whatever reason. Cannot do it, and they look so simple.
Yes. Yeah, I have a painting. Let me see if I find that painting. Like this one I'm doing of Bill Applegate. Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, see, and those clouds are horrible. I can't get them to where I want. I got down here real nice, but just all this is just I can't get it.
Looks good to me.
Yeah, but to me, when I do something with painting, which I'm glad, I have to be happy with it. I'm not gonna let it leave out of the studio unless I'll buy it,
Yeah. No, I understand that. And it's funny because everybody that'll be listening to this will be saying, like, nobody even pays attention to clouds. So, why is he having a hard time with them, right?
Yeah, but well, I guess that's like it. I don't know. It's one of the things I love to see in paintings of clouds too. From other artists, just the storms or the depth.
Yeah, the details and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Have you you've won some awards? You've made some magazine covers, I believe, with your stuff.
Not yet. I don't know. Well, I've been in with the Fur Bears Unlimited. I'm the featured artist, and I do the Prince of the Year with them. I've done 3 so far, and I have 2 more to go. I have some good ideas that I don't know if I'm allowed to say it or let, but what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I'm excited about the next two that I'm doing.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's neat. It's a dream come true, so to speak.
So is oil your thing now? Like, I mean, I've seen your pencil sketches now. I mean, those are phenomenal. But I mean, is
Thank
oil
you. Yeah, that's my favorite thing to do. I love it. It's like therapy. Just
yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
also go ahead.
I know a couple of artists up here that they're wildlife artists, and I mean they love doing the oil work too, right? And I don't know. I'm different. I'm different than that. I love the pencil sketches. Like to me, a black and white pencil sketch is more real than an oil painting. I don't know. Just the way my brain works. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's different, and just
yeah.
I love pencil, but oil. I think the most thing I like about oil painting is you could mess up and you could fix it. It could like those clouds I just showed you probably have like 10 coats of paint under them. And you'll never know. You know, with the drawing, you only the paper only has so much tooth to it, and if you erase too many times, it's ruined. That paper, that area, whatever, it's ruined. You can't anything. It won't grab the graphite as easy or the charcoal. So you only have so many tries. Which oil, like I say, it's.
You'd think it would be the other way, wouldn't you?
Yes.
So you must have a website people can come look at your stuff.
Yes, I have one. It's aromeroart.com, and it has most of my artwork. I still have to update it. I think I have a Pine Martin I did that I have to put, and a couple other ones, and also do apparel now. Also, I put my artwork on clothes, apparel.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
That's going good for you?
Yes, it's been awesome. Last year I started full time doing my own printing my own stuff, putting it on the clothes myself. And this year I've done great. It's been awesome. It's a lot more hours, but now I don't have to go drive into town, you know, because I used to do flooring and I used to have to go back and forth to Albuquerque. We live 70 miles from there, and I would have to wake up 4 a.m, go work, come back every day, you know, weekdays and stuff. But now I just walk probably 100 yards from the front door to my studio here. So
you do your own silk screening then?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes. That's cool. We could talk about that for an hour.
Yes. Oh, yes. And that's where I'm proud to say I put my heart and soul into that stuff too. So it's quality, you know, it's quality and stuff.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. But we have talked for an hour, and I have thunder and lightning happening out here, so I'm probably going to lose my internet pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
So I appreciate you taking the time, Adrian. This has been awesome. We'll do it again. I gotta come see you sometime. New Mexico is one of those places that is calling to me.
Yeah, you're always welcome. That would be great.
Appreciate that. And thank you for taking the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. It's great.
And everybody finds you at aromero.com.
aromeroart.com.
aromeroart.com. Okay.
Yeah.
And
my apparel's trapheads.com.
Trapheads.
Yes. Heads is spelled HEDZ.
Okay.
.com.
And you're Trapper Adrian out on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Look him up, people. I'm gonna get out of here before I lose everything and
before you
can't
get
finish
struck.
this off. So it's been an awesome time. I hope everybody out there has as much fun as we've had, and maybe we'll see you down the road.